Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving headfirst into the world of Alphabet Inc.
Alphabet Inc?
You know, the folks behind Google, YouTube, Gmail, they basically run the internet, right?
Yeah, they've got their hands in practically everything these days.
It's insane how they went from just a search engine to, like, this massive force in tech.
It is pretty remarkable.
We're talking self-driving cars, healthcare,
Right.
even trying to figure out how to live forever.
Right. It's like they pulled a page straight out of a sci-fi novel.
Right. It's wild. So let's rewind the clock a bit. Back to 1998, back when Google was just two guys in a garage with an algorithm that basically changed the world.
It all started with that algorithm and their focus on making things super user-friendly, which honestly was genius.
Genius is right. I mean, Google became a verb for crying out loud.
Uh-huh.
But then in 2015, they threw everyone a curveball and created Alphabet as the parent company.
So help me understand this. Why create a parent company? Wasn't Google doing just fine on its own?
Well, the story goes that they were inspired by Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway model. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's about having your fingers in a bunch of different pies, so to speak.
So Google became the cash cow, the one funding all these other ventures.
Exactly. Alphabet let them separate the money-making machine from the riskier, more experimental projects. Plus, it created this sort of transparency, at least on paper.
Though, doing the whole restructuring thing without a shareholder vote? That seems kind of bold, don't you think?
Yeah, it definitely raised eyebrows. But hey, it was legal. And let's be honest, it fits their style. They've always been willing to break the mold.
Okay, fair enough. But speaking of breaking the mold, let's talk about how this whole alphabet soup actually makes money. They're not charging us to use Google, are they?
Not directly, no.
Okay, so, like, how?
Well, think about all those ads you see every time you search for something.
Oh, right. Those ads.
That, my friend, is their golden goose.
So they're the ones getting rich off my late-night pizza cravings. I knew I shouldn't have Googled that at 3 a.m.
Maybe next time resist the urge. But yeah, every single search basically triggers this mini auction behind the scenes. Advertisers bid on keywords, and the winner gets that sweet, sweet top spot.
And some of those keyword bids can get crazy expensive, right?
Yeah.
I think I read that the average ad costs like $1. But for some keywords like insurance, it's over $50.
That's the name of the game. Some industries are just way more competitive.
Right, right. But it's not just ads, is it? I mean, Alphabet is so much more than that.
Oh, absolutely. Their dominance with apps and software, Android, Gmail, YouTube, that's huge for them.
I mean, YouTube is like its own little universe these days.
Seriously. And with over 2 billion monthly users, they basically have the global search market in a chokehold.
It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
Yeah.
But what really has people talking is their push into artificial intelligence, AI. It seems like they're going all in.
You're not wrong. AI is, for them, woven into everything they do, whether it's making search results more accurate or, powering those self-driving cars we were talking about.
Oh, and they've got their own AI model now, right? Gemini. That's their answer to ChatGPT.
Bingo. Gemini is their big bet in the AI arena, and it's already making waves.
So the AI wars are officially on.
They've been on for a while, my friend.
I guess my concern is all this reliance on AI. Doesn't that create, like, a whole bunch of ethical dilemmas?
You hit the nail on the head. When you're as big and influential as Alphabet, your decisions about AI have massive implications for the world. It really makes you wonder, with all these issues they're facing, are they headed for a downfall?
Yeah, it does make you think.
But actually, most analysts are still pretty optimistic about Alphabet's future.
Interesting. Why is that?
Well, they have two major strengths going for them: diversification and AI.
Okay, yeah, right. I remember you were talking about all those other investments, those other bets, like the self-driving cars, healthcare tech, and even life extension research.
Right. Those are all strategic moves to spread out their risk and explore totally new areas for growth.
So even if Google search, goes downhill at some point, they'll have these other businesses to fall back on.
Exactly. It's a smart strategy. And on top of that, they've got a massive advantage in AI.
Right.
They're investing billions into AI research and development, and it's paying off.
I guess when you have that much money to throw around, you could really make things happen.
No doubt about it. But it does make you wonder, right? What happens if they become too powerful?
That's a scary thought. But the tech world moves so fast. I mean, look what happened to MySpace. They were the kings of social media.
Yeah.
And then, poof, gone.
It's true. Nothing lasts forever, even in the tech world.
So are you saying Alphabet could face the same fate?
It's definitely possible. No company is invincible.
So what's the key for them to avoid that?
Adaptability.
Yeah.
And staying ahead of the game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's a tricky balance, especially for a company as huge and complex as Alphabet.
That's true. But you have to admit, they've got a knack for reinventing themselves.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Just look at how they transformed from just a search engine to this massive conglomerate that's involved in everything.
It's pretty impressive when you think about it.
It really is.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it all comes down to the people at the top, right?
Oh, absolutely. A company is only as good as its leaders.
And Alphabet's had some major shakeups at the top. I mean, the founders, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, they stepped down a few years ago.
Right.
And then there was Eric Schmidt's departure.
Yep, the former CEO.
It makes you wonder how those changes affected the company's culture.
It's hard to say for sure.
And speaking of culture, Alphabet's been in the news quite a bit lately. For all those employee walkouts and protests,
Yeah, that's a big deal.
it seems like there's some real tension there.
No doubt about it.
It's almost like they're trying to do too much, trying to be both a powerful corporation and a responsible global citizen.
Yeah. And that's not always an easy balance to strike.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here? What does the future hold for Alphabet?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? They're facing a lot of challenges. But they also have incredible opportunities. It's hard to predict what will happen, but it'll be fascinating to watch how it all unfolds.
Totally agree. But before we get too ahead of ourselves,
Yeah.
I think we need to talk about a really crucial aspect of Alphabet that we haven't touched on yet.
You're talking about their corporate culture, right? The whole "don't be evil" motto, which, has been, well, let's just say it's been tested lately.
It feels like there's this disconnect, between their motto and some of their actions.
There's definitely been some tension there, for sure.
Yeah.
You have this company that built its entire reputation on being, innovative and user-friendly, but as they've grown bigger and bigger, they're facing these accusations of being a monopoly, of putting profits ahead of people's privacy.
And even, trying to silence dissenting voices
Yeah.
within their own company.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they're trying to juggle being this disruptive force with being a responsible corporate citizen.
Right. It's a tough balancing act.
And it seems like they're stumbling a bit.
Well, those walkouts and protests we talked about earlier, those are a pretty clear sign that some employees feel like the company has lost its way.
Yeah.
They're demanding more transparency, more accountability. They want the company to really think about the ethics of how it uses its technology.
It's a tough situation because on one hand, you have this company that's created these amazing products that have truly made our lives better. But on the other hand, there are these very real concerns about their power and how they use it.
You've got it. It's a classic dilemma in the tech world.
So what can we do about it? I mean, as users,
Yeah.
as citizens, how can we hold these tech giants accountable?
Well, the first step is awareness, understanding how these companies work, how they make their money, how their algorithms shape what we see and do online.
Right.
And then it's about being informed consumers, making conscious choices about the products and services we use.
So it's not about deleting all our accounts and living off the grid?
Not necessarily. It's about finding that balance between appreciating the benefits of technology and being aware of the risks.
And being willing to speak up, right?
Right.
When we see something that's not right.
Exactly. We need to support organizations fighting for digital rights, push for stronger regulations, and hold our elected officials accountable.
To make sure technology serves humanity.
Precisely.
Well said. So there you have it, our deep dive into the world of Alphabet Inc. From its humble beginnings as Google to its current position as a global tech giant.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We talked about their financial power, their ambitions in AI, and the battles they're facing, both internally and externally.
It's a fascinating story.
One that's still unfolding. And it's a story that affects all of us.
So stay informed, stay engaged.
And keep asking the tough questions. Until next time, happy diving.